You're totally fucking with the podcast. You're supposed to be gone. And I told you to get your shit. And then...
This is what 16 years of marriage gets you.
Jesus. You know what? I know that's going to end up in the cast, too, because Paul, he has no mercy on me.
That is absolutely 100% the intro.
That is the intro. Get
That's
your shit.
pretty good, eh? At least she's got a sense of humor. She has to, married to me, I gather.
Just wait until the mic switches off. You're going to get what's coming to you, buddy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Press X the podcast, where it is episode 11, which means we're one more than 10, which means we can't stop now, and it's March 19th, 2018. I'm Paul Sullivan. Alongside me, I've got Mr. Working From Home. It's Shawn Petraschuk.
Oh, no pants Petraschuk.
That has a nice ring to it.
It does.
Episode 11, No Pants Petraschuk.
I thought it was going to be, this is what 16 years of marriage will get you.
Well, we know what that'll get you.
Yeah.
And we got Trevor Houston as well.
Hello, hello.
Did you guys get up to any St. Patrick's shenanigans?
I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah, hardly any shenanigans over on this end.
I went out for lunch with my oldest on Saturday. We went to Cactus Club, and he was telling me about his evening plans, which essentially was, I mean, he's a chef at a restaurant that's owned by like a group that owns like not only restaurants but a bunch of bars, that sort of thing. So he gets like the industry pass into wherever. So him and his girlfriend were planning on hitting up like the busiest place in town for St. Paddy's Day, and basically he told me that his overall plan was to throw up on his shoes before the end of the night. So to be 20 and have that as a life goal.
I think if I pulled that at this point, I'd be out of commission for like 5-6 days.
Oh yeah, me and hangovers don't do well anymore. The last one I had was from a red wine, and it was just bad news. I ended up, this is a long time ago now, but the neighbors came over, and we basically, 4 or 5 of us went through 13 bottles of wine. So you can imagine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was pretty rough the next morning, to the point that I actually painted our bathroom walls red. So lesson learned.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
There was a time in my younger years where I could drink till like 2 a.m. and then like wake up and go to work at like 6, 7, and it'd be no problem. Now it's like the 2-day hangover is real. Like it happens to me frequently, where I need like one full day and then part of a next day to get over like a serious hangover. So needless to say, I don't get smashed a lot.
Getting old is such bullshit.
The worst part of it it's not even the physical side of it. As I find, if I drink enough water, I don't get any of the physical hangover stuff, but it's more psychological. It's like, what did I do? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
I'm too old for this.
I don't know. I mean, I think some of the best fun I've ever had is because I was drunk. So I don't get like the what did I do regrets or anything like that. I just feel like garbage. I think my problem is that the older you get, if you sit around on a Sunday, for example, and you just don't do shit, you're like, I'm sitting in my sweatpants, we're going to binge on Netflix, we're going to order bad food because I don't feel like doing anything. I'm lazy today. Then on Monday, you realize all the shit you didn't do on Sunday, and you're like, fuck, I have so much stuff to catch up on. It's not worth
every
it.
Weekend. That's like every single weekend I wake up Monday and be like, fuck, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. The yard's a mess.
I was going to say every Friday morning after hockey, because I know that like you and Thursday nights sometimes get rough.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah, Fridays can be a grind.
At least it's Friday?
Yeah. Thursdays for the boys.
For the boys. I didn't, it's funny, I never really knew that saying before until my kid told me that they use that in the kitchen at work all the time. Like if somebody sends perfectly good food back, that's what they call it. They call it Ferda. It's like, Ferda boys, eat up. I'd never heard it before. I'm not up with the young kid lingo anymore.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I heard that from my daughter. Saturdays for the boys. Okay.
So your daughter telling you that she keeps Saturday for the boys?
Saturday is for the boys. According
lucky
to,
you.
You know, everything.
Lucky
No, but
you.
just for the boys. She can't interact. Like boys are hanging out with boys. She can't.
Oh, that's what
she can't hang around with it. No, it's just for the boys. There's no.
Oh, I see. I thought basically that she was saying that she makes time.
No.
For the boys.
No.
No, not yet.
No. Well, no. She has a boyfriend, but Saturdays are off because Saturdays are for the boys.
Okay.
I think I understand.
Yeah.
Someday we'll get up to speed on the lingo and everything will be all right.
No, we won't.
You're right.
We're old,
we
man.
won't.
Let's just accept it. Or at least
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm good with embracing the power of the oversized sweatpants.
Yeah, I'm all about stretchy waistbands now. I mean, it's a sad fact, but it is the truth. I'm thinking of trying to like low key go into like a maternity place and buy like expandable like pregnant lady pants, like jeans. But like, you know, just make sure I wear a big shirt and everything should be fine, right?
It's okay. Old Navy has you covered. They have like flex fit, and I've got like a 2 to 4 inch leeway. Depending on how I'm eating, any given month. So if I pack on like 5 or 10 pounds, that's okay. I got flex fit pants. No word of a lie.
I'm wearing those pants right now.
Yeah.
I literally am.
Did you just check your waistband?
No, I just know the pants I'm wearing.
Oh, all right.
They're from Old Navy and they're comfortable. And they stretch because I'm getting tubby because of this podcast, like I said. I drank too much beer during this podcast.
Let's be honest, your Facebook response time has gone through the roof. Like you're immediate. If I reply to something on the group, you've got to reply within 12 seconds.
Well, because my world revolves around staring at 2 screens now.
Left or right?
It's important to me to keep up with you and all our friends on the Press X to Podcast Facebook group.
There you go. There's our advertisement. It's out of the way.
Yay! We should talk about games, though.
I think we should. And Shawn, I'm going to start with you because I'm interested to hear what you have to say about these.
I jumped back into Mad Max, and I always liked it. But I did kind of tail off on it. And I've made up my mind that this is the next game that's going to get the big push out of me. It's fun. It's just like, I mean, I don't know what people were expecting when it came out, but I know that for a lot of people, apparently they expected more. But in terms of just like a really good open world game, lots of stuff to do. They've got all those sort of hooks. They're going to pull you in and, keep you motivated because it's constant upgrading. I mean, he's constantly getting his skills upgraded. You have the base that you're upgrading and everything else. And those are the kind of things that keep me going the same way that like upgrading the town in Assassin's Creed 2. I mean, I was addicted to it. So, I think I do know that a lot of people, especially as you get towards the end of the game, they were kind of, all right, things are starting to be repetitive. And I see that, I don't think it's got the same pull as a Skyrim in a sense. But, take Skyrim, put it in a post-apocalyptic type setting, and that's kind of what Mad Max is, just definitely scaled down, I guess, in just scope. But it's still a really, really good game. So that's one of those ones like I would encourage other people to try. I mean, man, now you got to be able to get it for like what, $10? I know you played it. You reviewed it, Trev.
I did. I quite liked it at the time, but I think, why did it not sell well? I think it just maybe it's in a market that was oversaturated, and I think a lot of people just found it a little bit boring, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it at the time. I didn't play a heck of a lot of it. It's kind of one of those games where I played it, I reviewed it, and then I was done with it. And I don't quite know why I was done with it. Maybe I moved on to something else, or maybe I found myself getting bored. but I never went back to it. But I do think, and I believe it's on Game Pass for free now, or well, part of your subscription. So yeah, it is a good, if you've got that Game Pass,
you're
it's a good
right.
reason to go back and
it
play
is on Game Pass. It is on Game Pass.
Yeah, I did notice it was there, so I'm like, I'd like to get back into that. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be worth it. It'd be worth it. And then I jumped into Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Lovers in a dangerous space-time.
But the funny thing is like I've had it forever. And I've never jumped into it. And me and the wife were sitting around on Saturday night, and we have a couple drinks, and we just were like, I don't want to watch TV. We don't want to sit around and do the same crap. And Karen is not a gamer. She's not interested in games. And she's like, well, what? Let's play a game. Let's play something that I can play. And I mean, usually my go-to is a racing game, because it's like, there's the gas, there's the brakes, steer. You're going to be good or you're going to suck, whatever. But like, you can still get the basics down. But then I, going through the games that I had, and I came across this Space-Time, and I kind of was like, that's like a perfect couch co-op for somebody that's not necessarily like super well versed in gaming, right? Mm-hmm. So we started in, and she picked up on it because it's literally 3 buttons, right? I mean, you don't have a lot to do in terms of control wise, but you are paying attention to a lot of spaces. There's a lot going on, and we played for like a good, 4 hours or so, maybe a little longer, and had a ton of fun with it. And it was just kind of neat being able to play a game. I don't know if we had talked about it, or if I talked about it with some other friends or something, in that, like, what games do you recommend for someone when their partner doesn't play games? So what would you play with them? And it's a perfect for it. It really, really is. We were having a ton of fun, and she was having fun, which is the most important part, right? Because usually it's like Mario Kart. That's it. She's like, I'll play Mario Kart. So to not play Mario Kart with her was pretty great.
The thing that makes Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time good is that even if you're good at games, you're going to get yelled at by somebody else because you're screwing up. Because it's not dependent on your ability to play the game. It's all dependent on your ability to think one step ahead and keep the ship alive. And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun with a few people on a couch.
Yeah, and like you can play it up to four players at a time. Like, that's crazy. I mean, at least I guess, does it scale up based on the number of players that you have playing in terms of difficulty or in terms of how much is going on?
I've never noticed it changing, which probably means it does.
Yeah, because I mean, I would imagine like playing solo, I mean, you can only be in so many places at once.
Oh God, it'd be a mess.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even want to. But even with the two of us, I mean, there's times where I'm running from the engine to like the special weapon type thing, or like quickly up to the top, and you're constantly, like you say, you're looking for that one step ahead. It's challenging. It's super challenging, but the upgrades are fun. I mean, and they're procedural too, right? Like they're different every time, which I didn't realize at first. We got taken out, and our special weapon went from like this saw blade to like these like homing missiles and stuff. And excuse me. It was good fun, and it's pretty cute. It's really cutesy as well. I mean, which kept the wife happy. I mean, she doesn't mind the shooter games when she plays them on occasion. But I mean, for the most part, she just points at the sky and spins in a circle. So
the other game that kind of reminds me of that feeling of playing Dangerous Space-Time.
Sorry.
Man, God, you're just a disruption.
That's going to be a big spike in the sound waves there. Sorry.
We're gonna have to try to level that out.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyways, the other game that reminds me of that is Overcooked.
Really? And see, I've never even thought about jumping into that, because my kid plays some sort of like kitchen cooking thing on the iPad, and I just assumed that that's what Overcooked is, and it's bullshit, and I don't want to touch it.
It's kind of, I mean, it's got the same, it is bullshit, but it's a little bit more frantic than Space-Time is, because you're behind to begin with, so you're trying to keep up with the orders, and you're running into other people. But it's not just like a kitchen game where you're tapping around.
Is it like Burger Time 2016?
Sure.
Burger Time?
Yeah, sure, you can call it that. But for example, one level you're on top of two speeding motorhomes going down a highway. So every once in a while, the motorhomes come together so you can get to the other side of the kitchen. But, it's risky. It's risky. It's a good time. Overcooked.
I know nothing about Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time other than it reminds me of a legendary remake by the Bare Naked Ladies, Lovers in a Dangerous Time, which is an amazing song.
Who sang it first?
Bruce Cockburn.
Oh, my man.
Yeah. A little Canadian
good
trivia.
old piece of Canadian history. Some Canadiana for you.
Some good Canadian kids.
That's right.
Can we try to bring up a Canadian legend at least once per show so that our friends elsewhere can join us?
We should
Next
make an
week,
effort
Stomp
to do
and Tom.
Challenge accepted.
Are we making a good first impression by bringing up Bruce Cockburn?
I think so.
I'd say so.
Right now, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
All right. Trev, what did you play?
I will be quick because really this DLC was super quick. The Wolfenstein, what's it called? It's called The Deeds of Captain Wilkins. I played the final installment of the 3 DLC pack. And each one was about 2 hours long, and this one was also 2 hours long if you knock the difficulty down, which I did because I just wanted to get it done. It was repetitive. It was just more of the same. There were no new enemies, no new levels. There was no new game mechanic. It was just, I played it just because I had the season pass. I felt compelled that I had to, and I am done with Wolfenstein 2. I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm good. I'm ready to move on. So I finished that. That game's ready to be traded in if I had the physical copy, which I don't. But if I did, I'd be trading it in.
Who has physical copies anymore?
What's that?
Who has physical copies anymore?
Oh, I know, right? Like,
I'm too lazy, man. Like,
yeah, I don't have many. That's for sure.
Yeah, I understand a lot of people would like obviously trade value and stuff like that, and I would still look at it from that side of things, but I'm just lazy, and with my internet, it's like, oh look, I want that game, sweet, in 10 minutes I'll have it.
Bzz.
Yep.
So Trev, you soured on Wolfenstein pretty quick.
I did.
All three of us were super high on it at Game of the Year.
Well, and I think what the DLC, I guess for the extra, I mean, it's only $25, I think, for the season pass. So I really shouldn't have high expectations to begin with. But give me something new, other than like comic cutouts, which I liked. But yeah, it was more of the same. Like at least a new level. How about a new level to travel through? These were all sort of retreaded maps that were used throughout the single player that they just threw back in the DLC. And yeah, and all the enemies were the same.
Is that the same across all 3 pieces of DLC? That even
yes,
that the levels are retread.
Right, it is.
Okay,
so when you
that's kind of bullshit.
When you play the first batch of DLC, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's great to play the game again. Okay, this was cool. It was only 2 hours, but that's cool. And then you play the next one, you're like, oh, okay, this is cool, but kind of more of the same. But oh well, whatever, it's good. And then by the time you hit the third one, you're like, oh, okay, I'm done. Like, seriously. And
so is it they're just banking purely on the narrative to pull you in?
Yeah, a little bit of the narrative, and that you love the gameplay, that you love mowing down one Nazi after another, and it's just more of the same. And
I mean, I would argue that, like, in a lot of DLCs, it's okay to not necessarily add mechanics. You know what I mean? Like, the game is the game, and in terms of powers or whatever, like, okay, you don't need another ability or a new gun necessarily. They're cool for sure, right? But you don't necessarily need them. But to rehash the same spaces as well. Yeah. And it literally be, so what are you getting out of your 6 hours, we'll say, right? Between the 3 pieces. What are you getting in your 6 hours that's different? Well, just a piece of story, nothing more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how you would sour on that a little bit.
It's like you wander through some vents, you hop down into the map, you get bombarded by waves of enemies, you kill off a few big bosses at the end, then you crawl into a vent, and then you jump into a new map. Like, it's just,
Yeah. Sounds like Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it was just a little I was just disappointed. I was hoping for a little bit more there, but what do you do?
Fair.
And then I played a little bit of Dead Space 2 because I finished Dead Space, the original one, last week, and so I'm about level 8 on Dead Space 2, and I'm enjoying that. I can definitely see where they made some enhancements this time around, and it's 3 years after the original, so the visuals are a little bit better. But I'm enjoying going through it. It's the first 3 levels were really easy, and at first I was like, oh man, they didn't do a good job with the progression here. But by the time you hit level 5, chapter 5, it really the game starts to really hammer you. So yeah, I'm gonna make it through that and then move on to Dead Space 3. Otherwise, that's all I played, and I went to go see Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Which I'm respecting Shawn. He hasn't seen it.
No, I don't care.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, of course not. No, I would be pissed if you spoiled anything. But bottom line is, did you enjoy the film?
I did. For me, it was good, not great. Alicia does an awesome job. I thought she was a wonderful. I thought she was wonderful in the movie, and the story's mostly predictable. Kind of generic. I felt the bad guy, Walter Goggins, I think is his name, and he's in.
Walton Goggins, he's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, and he is in Sons of Anarchy, and I love his character in Sons of Anarchy. But I found him as a villain. He was almost miscast. Like I didn't find him to be a real compelling villain.
Wasn't Walton Goggins? Yeah, didn't he? Wasn't he, what was his name, in Prison Break? Wasn't he Teabag in Prison Break?
I never watched Prison Break.
Great show.
But yeah, it was good. My wife really enjoyed it. And yeah, she loved how Alicia kicked ass and enjoyed the storyline. And yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a shot. But I got to admit that, like, from what I saw from trailers, it really seemed, the first trailer I saw seemed so campy that I immediately thought of, I never know how to pronounce his first name, if it's Uwe or Uwe, but Uwe Boll.
Oh,
just
no.
Like, it was because the acting just didn't line up for me. It just seemed like either you're watching it in subtitles or not subtitles, like voiced over type thing, and it just didn't work. And I'm like, oh, and this was just from the very first trailer that they released. And I remember looking at it going like, how are they screwing this up? They've done such a good job of rebooting the franchise that, like, why tank it with a shitty movie? And it just seems like that most of the feedback that I've seen online, it's very polarizing. There's no middle ground, really. It's like either you like it or you don't. But there's no like, oh, like it was good. I can point this out that I didn't like. It was like, yeah, it was good and I liked it, or it was really fucking bad. And a lot of people, I mean, it's not doing too well on Metacritic. I know a lot of people seem to be shitting on it. I'm going to see it for myself and I'll make up my own mind for sure. But I was just kind of really hoping, I think, for like just one of those universally acclaimed movies that was everybody watched and went, they made a really good video game based movie. Awesome, and kind of gives some credibility to the genre in a sense, right? Because we don't expect much from video game movies. We expect them to suck. The second they're announced, we're like, yeah, it'll probably suck.
Yeah, I'll probably see it at some point, but to be honest, I'm so into the current series of games that it just doesn't turn my crank that much. I'm happy to wait until September for Shadow. And just go back into that world as opposed to trying to, see them find a new Lara and a new world and all that stuff.
Oh man, like I'm so pumped for that game. What did they say? What the actual like? It's been announced, but what's the actual date? We don't know.
It's in September sometime.
It's like the 24th or something like that.
Yeah, and then we get like a proper reveal trailer on April 27th.
Yeah, April 27th, we get a full reveal.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, God, I want that game already.
Well, what I find interesting is the release is staying It's staying clear of Call of Duty and it's staying clear of Red Dead. It's interesting that it's out in September, which is right before that fall storm, that fall wave of games.
Well, didn't Rise come out in September as well?
I think it did.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, I don't think that, like over the course of the past 2 games of this reboot, they've done such a good job of resurrecting this franchise that I don't think they need to be worried no matter who they're releasing around. Fans of this game are going to pick it up. And I mean, if everything goes as according to, planned, like I would say on terms of like Square side, this game's going to sell more than the first 2 did, for sure.
Well, the others were timed exclusives. It doesn't appear that this one will be, will it?
No, there's no exclusivity. But I mean, I would wonder if the timed exclusivity hurt overall sales where,
Oh, sure.
When
I bet
a year's
it did.
passed.
I think it does.
Like when a year's passed,
80
even
million
if you were hyped on it.
PS4s.
But that's just it. But it's like, yeah, it became available for PS4. But when you've heard about a game for a year, maybe seen a trailer here or there, heard people chatter about it on Twitter or whatever websites you go to and everything else, you've missed out on that. Even though it's new to your console, if you only have one, you've missed out on that big release buzz. Mm-hmm. And you go, meh, I'm just going to skip it.
Well, and probably something else has probably come out in the meantime, and maybe that's the hot thing now. So, yeah, that definitely hurts it. And I think Microsoft would be having to back up several dump trucks full of cash for Square to want to sign that exclusivity deal again.
Yeah, I think Square's looking at this as like, there's 80 million PS4s that we need to get this game on day one, so we're not going to sign a time exclusive. And I mean, it might be a topic for another show, but it seems like there's less time exclusives now than there was, say, 2, 3, 4 years ago. Seems like we're getting away from that. Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah,
like even a year ago, there was still some timed exclusive type stuff.
Like?
Well, I don't know, like
Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, like, and there were some DLCs and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not as big of a focus. I mean, it was big franchises doing it, right? I mean, Call of Duty hasn't been exclusive with much, has it? I mean, I don't really follow
just
that.
Just the DLC. The DLC is exclusive for a month. It's out a month earlier on PS4.
Yeah, and then wasn't it like Destiny got some certain
same
DLC
thing.
And yeah, I mean, but in terms of games,
yeah, not many.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw some buzz or some rumor that what was it? That Cuphead is eventually going to be leaving Xbox and PC exclusivity. Who knows?
I could see that.
Well, I mean, let's look at it this way. I mean, ID at Xbox or the Xbox brand, they've already made a truckload of money off Cuphead. I mean, you want to talk about a runaway success. I mean, that's a prime example. But to hold those developers back from making the money they deserve, it sucks. I mean, I guess that is the deal they signed, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's probably a 1-year thing, I would suspect.
Well, I mean, they always made it sound like it was straight up exclusive, but I mean, it's funny how we never really know what those deals are, right?
That one was published by Microsoft Game Studios, though, wasn't it?
It might have been. Yeah, I think you might be right on that. I don't know.
It was,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, in that case, it might never come out. Like Mass Effect 1 was a Microsoft Game Studios, and it never went anywhere.
It's true. It never left the Xbox fold, did it?
Or PC, yeah.
PC, yeah.
But we're well into the news. We're well into the news, aren't we, Paul?
We touched on the news with Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
We segued into the news.
We did.
It was a smooth transition. Just like this Ryan ginger into my mouth.
Nice smooth pour.
I don't know why this reminds me of it. Well, ginger. My wife is sitting in the office with me this morning, and I see this meme thing pop up on Facebook about, it was like, what you say when your redheaded friend tries to talk tough. And it's this jar of something, and I guess it's meant to be like it's not overly spicy, because ginger can have a strong spice to it. But it said easy ginger, I showed my wife, and she just gives me this look like she's gonna murder me. And of course, I went right. I just basically I looked at it, and I looked at her, and I basically read the meme out loud. I'm like, "Easy, Ginger." Yeah.
You like to live on the edge, don't you?
Yeah,
Well, you know,
he
it's
sure
funny.
does.
She's a foot and some odd shorter than me, but she would fuck me up. So I've just learned to tread carefully.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah, I learned to tread very carefully.
Boys, looks like I'm on the couch again.
Now we got a king size for that reason. It's like, look, you don't want me to touch you, that's fine. Just stay to your side of the bed.
Right.
Well, anyways, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is going to take place in Mexico.
Is that confirmed or rumored?
I thought that was a rumor.
Oh no, you're right. That is speculation. But the trailer does look like it's got some Aztec ruins and so on, so could very well be true.
It seems logical. You know what I heard today? I'm going branching here. It looks like Assassin's Creed is on like a 2-year cycle, and the rumor is that one's going to be in Greece. Oh. And I gotta say, I'm kind of disappointed if that's where they're going, because I just feel like, Egypt was really, really cool with Origins, but like jumping from, we've done the Italy and all that sort of thing, and Greece and Italy. I mean, and even with Origins, there was a lot of, the Greeks are already in Origins and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It just seems like they're just tooling around in the same areas. And again, obviously, like you guys know, I love Origins. I love everything about that game. But I would just love to see like a real branch again, like they did with Black Flag. And I mean, remember the rumors of like feudal Japan? How friggin' cool would that be? That
would be awesome. The other one I'd want to see would be somewhere in Eastern Europe, like Russia or Moscow, something like that.
Yeah, that would
kind of
definitely
explore
be cool.
The end of the Tsars and the assassins, role in that. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, anywhere to get them out of kind of like that. I mean, not that it's stale, obviously. Like that 2-year break really helped it, and the game that came out was really fantastic. But get them out of the stale area. Like, just move them away from this comfort zone of, the same dynasties and the same, I don't know, just seems like the same people in a sense, and just really branch out to something completely different. And I think, gameplay obviously was a part of it, but that was part of the success of Black Flag. It was like, we're pirates. That's way off from what we've already done, right? It just seems like if Greece just seems almost like too, I don't know, it just seems predictable now.
Well, being a pirate is freaking cool, and Lara Croft is definitely a treasure pirate.
You damn right she's a treasure pirate.
Pirate of your heart.
Oh, God. Just, I keep saying this, man. It's just the voice. Although, like, the funny thing is like, I don't even know what Camilla Luddington looks like. I'm just like, I just don't want to ruin the voice. It's like, Camilla Luddington looks like a Lara in the game. That's what she looks like to me now.
Well, that is what she looks like.
Well, no, I finally gave in, like, literally just before we started the podcast, because you and I were chattering, Paul, on Slack. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check what she looks like, and I'm like, hot damn. All right, well, maybe she's okay.
More than just a voice.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
So that's coming out this year, and they're gonna tell us more next month. And that's kind of all the news there is on Shadow.
News enough for me. I'm just glad that we know that it's on its way this year.
Yep. And unsurprisingly, Fortnite is still a big thing.
Oof. Huge.
It's stupid.
Huge.
Like, unbelievably massive.
It's insane.
For one, they're bringing it to mobile, apparently being the exact same game as you've got on console already.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
That's one thing. And then I guess Drake plays Fortnite, and he broke Twitch. He broke it real bad.
Well, the whole thing was really, really crazy because everyone assumed that this is something that Epic had set up, right? I mean, like if you think that like a lot of these streamers and stuff like that, when you're watching a Let's Play or a stream, if you think that they're not paid, I mean, yes, they're making money off subs and ads and all that sort of stuff. But the really big ones, like if they're playing a game that's maybe out of their normal zone or whatever, the reason they're playing it is because publishers and developers are putting out the coin. Right?
Do you guys know what Twitch's guidelines are on revealing that? Because I know at least EA requires people to say specifically that it's a sponsored segment.
I believe it. I believe so.
Yes,
I believe
I think
so.
they're supposed to.
But that's what's so crazy about this one, though, is that this wasn't like nobody got paid for this. They just did it. Like Ninja is like he's overtaken Dr. Disrespect as the most popular streamer on Twitch.
Yay!
Yeah, that guy's such a douche canoe. Yeah, so he's overtaken Dr. Disrespect, and he's like he's a really positive guy. Like, I mean,
And
I'm not the type
good.
to watch streams.
And he's really good.
Well, he's good, but like for me, it's just like I'm not the type to watch streams and stuff like that. But I mean, from the things I've heard about him, is like he's literally on there telling kids like, stay in school, don't bully. Like he's a nice kid. I mean, a nice kid that was revealed just like yesterday or whatever that he's making over $500,000 a month playing this game.
What?
Which just
He apparently made $240,000 off that Drake stream alone.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Right?
But it was Drake that popped onto there, and then it just grew. Then it was like Travis Scott joined in, and then at one point is it somebody from the Steelers, Juju something or other?
Juju Smith-Schuster joined them.
That's a mouthful. His name is Juju Smith-Schuster.
He's a rookie wide receiver, but he's a name to watch. He'll be good for many years.
I don't care about if he's good at football because I don't care about football. I just like saying Juju Smith-Schuster. Say that 5 times fast for me, Trevor.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Juju Smith-Schuster, Juju Smith-Schuster, Juju Smith-Schuster.
That was only 4.
Well, one more time and I would have really tripped up.
But yeah, no, like
I do love the name Juju though. Never put Juju in the corner.
It's like I'm just like immediately I think like bad juju, like
bad juju.
Was it
Juju's running a post?
Isn't it what movie is it? Isn't it Major League, where one of the guys with you know what I'm talking about? What's the name of the little voodoo doll that the guy has in his
Juju?
locker?
No, it wasn't Juju. Was it?
I don't know if it was Juju.
Yeah, the big slugger from the Indians.
Jobu.
Oh,
it's Jobu. Because I
that's
remember
right.
that one scene where like one of the real assholes on the team goes and drink, like the guy puts out like a shot of tequila for Jobu for good luck or whatever in his locker, and he walks by and he drinks the shot and walks out onto the field and yells at the guys like, "Yo, bartender, Jobu needs a refill." Just like it's such a good movie. Like
it's a classic.
It is actually a really good movie. That's one of those ones that you know, like how like we have Netflix and like we have like our DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever. Like we have movies at our fingertips, and there's quite often a movie where you'll have it on the shelf or you have it accessible on Netflix that you just got to turn it on. But you'll trip up on it on a Sunday or something and it's on TV and you're like, "Oh, guess I'm watching this now." That's me with Major League. And then, you know, someone will go like, "Well, why don't you just put the Blu-ray in and you don't need to do the commercials?" And you'll watch the fucking commercials and everything. That's Major League.
Nope, I'll watch it on TBS for the 13th Sunday in a row.
Oh my god, with their commercials every like 7.5 minutes.
Right.
Major League at 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 11:30. Like
No. You're giving them too much credit because like usually a standard hour-and-a-half movie is at least 3 hours on TBS.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But anyway, going back though to this whole Fortnite thing, 628,000 viewers.
Yep.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
It is. I mean, we touched on this last week on like when's the bottom gonna kind of fall out of this.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you wonder if, not that streaming is gonna have the bottom fall out from it, but there's a lot of services now. I mean, Mixer is picking up steam, big time for the Xbox brand. But there's another one called Caffeine. It's pretty much nowhere right now, but I've noticed some big names in the streaming scene that are signing on to that. So obviously it's not going anywhere. And like with a game like Fortnite, I mean, I think Sea of Thieves actually eclipsed it today in terms of streaming. But that's only because Sea of Thieves is coming out today. I mean, otherwise it probably would still be Fortnite for weeks.
Well, I think, yeah, I don't see Fortnite slowing down, and it makes me wonder if we'll see more celebrities doing this kind of thing. Like, will we see more celebrities, pro athletes, jumping on for these streams?
Well, maybe.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know. Like, Drake didn't get more famous for doing this. Like,
No,
Drake is
no.
still famous. Drake is Drake.
No.
I
The
think
big
he just
winners
did it-
are Twitch, well, Amazon, because Amazon owns Twitch, and obviously Ninja, because his subscribers probably went through the roof.
Yeah, and I mean, but for a guy like Drake, like, I think he just played because he wanted to play, like, because he's a gamer. I mean, the funny thing is like, just to show you the level of, like, how important he is, like, you know, like, if you're having trouble with your PSN account, you're going to sit on hold with Sony or PlayStation or whatever for hours, or, you know, you're going to chat this, that, and the other thing, trying to get shit going on. And apparently Drake was having trouble getting set up. There was something that had gone wrong with joining in on with Ninja. And so he basically told PlayStation, you want to fix this? I'm going to go get some wings. And then he came back and they fucking fixed it.
Wow.
It is new.
Man, the life of a famous rapper.
Right.
You're like, you just want to fix this while I'm gone? I'm going to go get some wings.
How many people jumped into action as soon as he said that? Like, who was listening, and how many people at Sony were just like roused out of bed immediately to, you know, get down to the server room and physically fix something?
Well, didn't we crack a joke a few casts back about how somebody was bitching, like someone was talking about from Sony was talking about a game or something that was released over Twitter. They were like just talking about something over Twitter, and like all the comments were like, you have enough time to post on here, why aren't you fixing this game? As if Sony is run by like one person entirely.
It is
Whoever
Kaz
that
Hirai.
whoever that one person is, he was busy when Drake called him out and was like, look, fix my shit.
It's Kaz Hirai, CEO. We all know that.
Oh, I wish I could remember. He was on fire this week. I can't remember what it was. Ah, man. I always forget at the worst times. He did something this week, like just some comment that he made this week that I looked at it and I remember just putting my head down and shaking my head and going, oh man, he just owned another guy, and just kind of walked away. Like, it's comedy gold. That Twitter feed is one of the best going on Twitter.
It really is.
It really is. It'd be funny if like people don't really look at the fine print, you know what I mean? And be like, wow, this CEO is a bit of a dick. It's like
Like, it's only 80 million PS4s. You don't own the world, bud.
Well, I don't know. They're making some pretty good money. They own a lot.
They do have a lot of street cred at the moment. Fortnite does as well, being at the top of the iOS store, despite the fact you can only download it if you have an invite.
Yeah, that's right. You need to be hooked up right now.
Mhm.
My coworker Jesse, we got the news from Epic about the invites going out and everything, and we had a few like exclusive access sort of thing that were like set for media. And the way that our system works, in terms of like adding in codes and stuff on terminals, right, which is what Evolve uses to get codes out to verified media, that sort of thing. Basically, because of the nature of the way that the exclusive access was releasing, we couldn't use that specific process that we would normally lean on. So Jesse had to send out a blanket email that basically said, this is when you're going to be able to get in, kind of hold your horses, but if you want possibly to be able to get advanced entry, just drop me an email. He basically had to throw his own email in there. So there's 40 million people playing Fortnite, and he basically just had to drop his email and say, hey, if you want to advance into the iOS version, just email me. And he's literally on our Slack channel. He's like, RIP my inbox. I'm like, oh man, you are so fucked. I haven't talked to him about it yet, like to see how bad it got, but I can only imagine that like basically everybody who even has like the slightest inkling of being in media, and I mean you'll get tier 3 and tier 4 YouTubers who have like, I've got 100 subs, I'm important, like, you know, that they emailed and they're like, can you get me a code? Like his inbox had to have been just a fucking slaughterhouse.
He originally sent out that email to email him if you wanted in, and it was maybe a half hour, 40 minutes later, he sent out a Google form. It was like, here, just fill out this form. That's going to be easier for me because RIP my inbox and my life for the rest of the time. Poor Jesse. He had a rough week.
I felt so bad because the funny thing is when that all came through, because Epic is kind of like an account that I work on, and when everything was just moving so fast with the iOS thing, like where we're waiting on pins and needles, like, oh, don't drop it yet, and like all of a sudden, like they kind of get things figured out. So it comes through, it's like, okay, drop that news, go now. And so we you know, and like we're literally waiting to push a button. So that's how fast it moves. But I'd left the house to go get lunch, and I get this text. I pulled over, and I'm looking, and it's like, Nick wants this news done, and I'm like, okay, well, do I need to turn around? Like, can it wait? I'm just going for lunch. And Jesse's like, no, man. He's like being super chill and super nice. No, man, I'll do it. I'm like, oh, man, you're like saving my life. That's real nice of you. And I go and I have my fucking cheeseburger. I come back and he's like, fuck my life. I felt so bad. It's like, here, man, just take on my problem for me. So yeah, he's been a goddamn champion dealing with this, because it's just, I've just never seen a game that's blown up quite at this capacity. I mean,
unreal.
Mainstream, everybody knows Fortnite. I mean, to the point, like, you see videos of people like busting out like dances and whatnot, like at the bar. They're out in the club and they're busting out like Fortnite dances and shit like that. Like, it's huge, man.
And
well, apparently the servers broke the next day, that so many people jumped onto Fortnite the day after Drake did the stream, that there was all sorts of server issues. It was crashing because so many people were playing.
It just doesn't surprise me. I mean, how do you keep 40 million people going? You know, yeah. I mean, what's that number at now?
Yeah, good for them. And it's a free-to-play game. Like, it's free.
Yep. And then, you know, and the thing is like the stats on who actually spends money on a like a free-to-play is usually like around 2%. You know, so like, but even at 2% of 40 million is just a shit ton of money. And I mean, something tells me that like if you were to break down the stats on this one, there's a really good chance that it's over 2%. People seem really invested in this. And all the extra things that they're doing, they're fun, right? And I mean, I don't know. I mean,
like the group with the group of friends that my daughter plays with. Yeah, a bunch of them have bought like I mean, I don't even know what you get. Like a $30 or $40 upgrade or pack.
They buy what do they call the V-Bucks?
Yeah, I don't know what you get. Like maybe some guns, maybe some outfits. But yeah, all her friends seem to be buying this. So she kind of asked me the other day. She's like, "Dad, do you think you can buy me one of those packs?" I'm like, "Well, if you're playing in a couple weeks, if you're still playing in a couple weeks, we'll talk." Because she plays these games and then is like done with them real quick. So, but this one she's been playing for quite a while, and all her buds are playing. So,
but Dad,
yeah, all right.
I'm gonna be honest. I have tried to play Fortnite several times, and I just don't get it. I don't know what I'm missing, but it's just hasn't clicked for me.
A buddy of mine literally messaged me on Facebook this morning, my buddy Mike, and he's like, "So I downloaded Fortnite. I don't get it." Like, he couldn't figure it out because he's like, you start with a pickaxe. I thought you were gonna shoot people. Like he just didn't get it, like the building and all that sort of stuff. And of course, I'm a smart ass. I'm like, look, if 10-year-olds can figure it out, you can too. And he's like, I don't like new things. Like he's old. He's like, he's full out and like, get off my lawn territory. Like
change scares us.
And that's what he said. Yeah, he's like, change is bullshit. I don't like it. So I'm going to go back to, funny thing is he's like, I'm going to go back to Battlefront 2, which I see is on the schedule here. So apparently he's been playing it, even though nobody else has, or not very many other people have.
Wow, I was wrestling with that segue in my head, so thank you for taking care of that for me. DICE has changed the progression in Battlefront 2.
Is it through yet?
March 21st.
Yep.
March 21st, the patch goes in.
But
which will be the day this comes out, so Wednesday.
But basically, is it not like, it's completely 100% cosmetic loot box type stuff?
Yep, it's exactly what they should have done from the beginning. Leveling up will get you skill points towards upgrading and unlocking your star cards, and the loot boxes will be cosmetic only.
Yes, and like the progression is linear, and you keep everything you have. You don't lose anything either. So, yeah, that's probably what they should have done. Back when it came out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder if it's too little, too late. I mean, it's a shame because there's a lot of developers who worked really hard on this, and to see it get shit on. I mean, they're not the ones in charge of how the money works. They just work hard on a game that's actually pretty good, right? And all that works down the tubes. I mean, I think the only really good thing, I mean, if we have to look at this and go, what good came of it, is that this mistake is not going to be made again.
Oh, no.
By many.
No.
By nobody. I mean, just nobody wants a crosshair on them like that. I mean,
oh God, no.
I mean, EA is big enough that they're just gonna frickin', it's like the schoolyard bully. Maybe he gets owned finally. Some kid stands up to him and gets, he kicks his ass, but he's still the toughest kid on the block for the most part. So he stands up and he dusts off and he just goes back to work. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna suffer hard from this. But I do think that they learned a lesson, right? One tanked game. I mean, we've seen it with Ubisoft where, like we've talked about numerous times now, where, they had a little bit of bad faith with the community and they pulled themselves out of it. I think this is a step in the right direction. I don't think it's out of the goodness of EA's heart. I think this is because they realize that they're going to lose money, right? They've proven time and again to be one of the greediest companies in the business. And I mean, like I said, again, it's like it sucks because it really doesn't reflect it all on anybody who works at EA as a developer or coming up with the ideas for these games. It's the guys on top who are interested in nothing more than the cash flow. Yeah. But I mean, again, yeah, it's good that they've finally done this. I hope that maybe the game picks up a little bit. But I think in terms of Battlefront 2, it's too little too late. But at least moving forward, this is probably the last we're going to see of these types of tactics.
I hate to agree with you, Shawn, but I agree. I think it is too little, too late.
You agree with me?
I do.
For once? Well, they say, what is it? Like
just for once.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. So,
just this one time. No, I think it's too, like, it's March 21st. Like, this should have happened a long time ago. But hey, maybe there's people like your buddy that are going to jump back in it. Maybe this is, I don't know.
Well, Mike's the perfect example of a guy that, like, I mean, a funny thing is like when I was on, doing the COG thing and everything else, like he didn't actually go to my website or our website. He never went to the website, like he's the epitome of a guy that like, well, if I want to know about games, I go to IGN. Like, that was literally the only fucking site he went to. And God, it pisses me off. I'm like, go to my fucking website, you prick. You're supposed to be my friend.
We have all the information you need, God damn it.
No, but the funny thing is like, he's a perfect example of that guy that, like, he sees videos or whatever. And, like, he knows the games that he kind of likes, that he wants to play or likes to play. But he's not a news guy. He just is not as invested as the people who were pissed off about Battlefront 2. So to him, it was a non-issue because he's just like, whatever, I'm not going to spend any extra money. I just don't care. He's in that side of things. So he was playing anyway, right? But, for someone that's playing anyway, I mean, maybe you're going to see that user base come up. Maybe the games, it'll have benefits for the people, I would imagine, that have been playing and just kind of stuck it out since the beginning. Who knows?
In other news, just switching gears quite violently, a lady stabbed her boyfriend with a goddamn samurai sword.
What? What did he do?
Well, he was a very, very bad boy, and he played too much PUBG.
Okay, so...
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, there's more to the story than this, though.
Well,
she's also thought that he was fucking around on her. So
yes,
there's that.
But wait a minute. She thought he may have been cheating on her, so she stabbed him with a samurai sword?
Here's the thing.
That sounds like an appropriate response.
Here's the thing. They interviewed this guy. This guy gets interviewed, and he's like, I understand her frustration because basically our sex life disappeared because, and I love how he put it. He's like, I was too busy training. You're like, this is our youth. These are the people that are supposed to lead us forward. And he's like, I've been too busy training to procreate and or bone with my girlfriend. And so apparently the girlfriend has green dyed hair, and she found an orange hair in the shower. And this is what's so fucking psycho. She taped 2 knives to the side of the bed plus this samurai sword so he couldn't see it. And then when he was asleep, she fucked him up. Like,
yeah, she did.
Oh, the funny thing is like when this guy is denying, he's like, denying that he cheated on her and everything else, while he's basically saying that while she's trying to end his life, like, baby, I love you, I would never cheat on you, and da-da-da-da. Because apparently she also found Tinder on his phone, and like all this sort of shit. And the funny thing, he admitted, like, I saw a picture of this guy, and he's your standard, like, redneck country bumpkin. I mean, he wasn't blessed by the Lord of good looks. Let's just go with that. But he totally knows it, and he owns it, and he's like, you think I could cheat on anybody? Look at me. It's just everything about this story is just so good.
I'd like to read a quote from the police report. This is what the girlfriend said. I was trying to kill him for cheating. That was my purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently she went for the business too.
Oh,
apparently apparently he said that she went legit for the boys. She went for the boys. So and luckily, I mean, apparently he managed to convince her over the course of this attack that he wasn't cheating, and it's so weird because even in his interview, he's like, the second that she forgave him, this was his wording. He was like, I wasn't angry. I felt nothing but love for her. And I'm like, bitch just cut you up with a samurai sword. You love her? I'd be like, look, you give me that sword, I'm gonna fuck you back up. Like, there's no... like, wow, you are very forgiving. Good for you. You are gaining favor with the Lord, sir, because I would kill the bitch.
Man.
Or just, call police.
Well, she's the one who called 911. That's kind of how it all boiled down. Is he basically calmed her down. He's like, I'm not cheating on you. I just like video games a lot. And she felt bad. She called 911 and had them come and take care of business and patch them all up and all that jazz. And now she's obviously, I mean, I'm wondering, like, does it boil down to if he's truly like, oh, I forgive her, and it was like this crazy misunderstanding, is it up to him to press charges?
Oh, yeah, for the assault, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Attempted murder
like she was
is
off
like
her meds.
Well, I mean, attempted murder, is that like something like, no, I've decided not to press charges?
Yeah, she was charged with attempted murder, so that might be up to the DA.
Yeah. It's just, it's weird. It's funny how the media, the gaming media, really picked up on this in terms of it being a story about PUBG. And it's more a story about the fact that she found a hair and thought he was cheating. And what added to the fact that she thought he was cheating is he hadn't given her the D in a long time because he's too busy playing. He admitted it, and he's like, I've just been too busy playing PUBG to give her what she needed. This is all his own wording. Like, I can't even make any of this up. I was too busy playing PUBG to give her what she needed. So, yeah.
Man, oh man. That's
Video
enough
games,
news for one day, isn't it?
They're great, but they're ruining the world.
I'd argue that everything's ruining the world.
At least relationships. They're ruining relationships.
In this case, I mean, it was probably already pretty bad.
There's no coming back from this.
Yeah. Well, there was some other news, but it's really, I don't know. It's not that great compared to the samurai sword. So
I think why don't we leave on a high note?
I think I know what you want to talk about.
Oh, what do I want to talk about?
I'm pretty sure it's Dad of War.
Daddy of War.
Dad of War.
Ah, Kratos looks good.
Oh man. You know what's funny?
Wonderful.
I saw on Twitter today that Tyler Treese, who used to write for COG, runs or is basically part of a PlayStation lifestyle, so an exclusively PlayStation website, and he says that backlash and response from fans has been bad. They hate it.
What?
And it's funny.
Wow.
No, but this is the funny thing, is that you see a game that does like 3 sequels, 4 or 5 games, whatever, right? And they do the same thing over and over, and people are gonna bitch. Oh, it's the same thing. When are they gonna change it? So then they change it. They're like, why the fuck did they change it? Like, are you kidding me? It's like, it's a prime example of people never being happy. And I already saw it on the COG video where people are like, the last of Kratos. Like this game, like they're hashtagging it like it's a thing. This game is gonna bomb, and everything we hold dear about God of War is gone.
Oh, that's
and I'm
all.
just in my head. I'm just like, literally,
Shut up.
shut up, you stupid.
Yeah, that's all the vocal minority, though.
Fanboy.
What?
That's the people who just can't keep their mouths shut, because if you look at the up and down votes on our videos, for sure, it's 90 to 95% up.
Yeah, and it should be. I mean, it looks amazing.
It does, and
It
according
looks
to
so
Doug,
good.
it is friggin' incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it in 4K.
Oh.
Yeah.
But guys, it's not going to be 60 frames per second in 4K.
Oh, don't even get me
shut
I'm not going there. Never
Shut
mind.
up.
Never mind.
Don't even. I mean, the funny thing is like, I mean, you get these arguments about whether or not the human eye can really see it, and it can. I mean, but some people, I mean, I'll admit that I'm one of those people that like 60, 30, I'm sure that like in my head I'm noticing it. I just don't care enough to notice it. You know what I mean? Like, I just play the game, and if it's good, it's good, and I don't pick it apart. But like how like when, I mean, Paul, you've got a 4K TV.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember this when I first bought my first HD TV, right? And it was the same thing I noticed with when I bought the 4K TV and started watching programming like TV and movies in 4K. And you get that sort of, like that alarming sort of like, it feels like I'm really just looking through a window.
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost looks too real in the way that the characters move and talking. You're like, I could reach out and touch you, and that unnerves me. You know what I mean? And I would only imagine that like in certain games when you get it up to that 60 frames per second, that you would almost get that sort of alarming sort of take on it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think, like, say, in terms of it being cinematic, more like a movie, which is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from God of War. Would you really want it to be at 60 frames per second?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, there are certain things that I do like at the higher frame rate. So anything competitive like Call of Duty, that works at 60 frames. Any fighting games, those work at 60 frames. But something that is more cinematic, like you said, Shawn, like, for example, Shadow of the Colossus, which I reviewed the remake recently, people tore me apart on YouTube for saying that you should play it in the resolution mode as opposed to the frame rate mode because, well, it's not 60 frames. But I mean, the game's so sluggish, it doesn't really matter. It's all about how it looks, and it looks way better in the resolution mode. So suck it, haters.
Yeah. But it's just, I'm kind of curious. It's like, I mean, even you're saying, you know, like fighting games and Call of Duty and stuff. I mean, how fast can our brains process what we're seeing to the point that the difference between 30 and 60 is going to give you a competitive edge? And that's an honest question. I'm not trolling on that at all. I mean, I'm honestly curious, like how fast, like if you're talking about animations, right? So, you know, I mean, for people who maybe are like, oh, I've never really understood what it means. We're literally talking about a frame. A frame is a picture, right? Yep. So whether or not that picture moves, you get 30 pictures in a second or 60 pictures in a second. If like Buddy's pulling off an uppercut and you're trying to defend or block against that in a fighting game, for example, at 30 or 60, do you think that your brain is going to process either one of those fast enough that there's a competitive advantage from one to the other?
At a high level, there absolutely is. There absolutely
really
is.
So?
Absolutely,
like, how good
there
do
is.
you have to be? How good do you have to be?
I mean, you have to be really good, but there are people who, in a 60 frame per second game, are frame counting and timing their blocks, etc., to be on an exact frame because that's the frame that it has to happen. So it does affect the gameplay. Okay,
so for the average human being and not freaks of nature, I don't know how they do this.
For us old farts, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just sometimes I see when we get into these arguments, when people are kind of going back and forth about these things, I often wonder if, especially when the people are not pro players, whether they're arguing for the sake of arguing because they just believe it, or if there's real scientific, yes, you're better because of this type fact behind it. Right. But like you say, I mean, obviously, you know, if there's guys that are literally, like you say, counting frames and they're giving, you know, they're getting a competitive advantage in a fighting game. I mean, these are the pros. Then obviously there must be a difference. But I mean, I would just say for your average 99% of gamers, no one pays attention to this shit. You got to be ultra competitive to truly care.
Yeah. The vast majority of cases, it's just preference. So, I mean, if you like 60, that's great. If you don't care, also great.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, we were kind of joking today about it when we were all chattering on Slack, and it's just like, it's less of an argument or a debate, and it's just like what you like, man. Like, good for you. If that's what you like, awesome, thumbs up, right? But it's like trying to convince somebody who doesn't care, you're probably not going to win that argument. I don't care now, I'm not going to care tomorrow.
What do you say, guys? Should we talk about releases and then come back to some of our interactions with people on the Facebook?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk releases. Finally, some things to talk about in this section, like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
That's out tonight, or by the time people listen in, it'll be well out.
In 25 minutes, according to my time, I'll be able to download it on Game Pass.
I want to say servers are already live, though. I think Garrett's been playing it today, so...
Yeah, like some of the bigger sites. I know IGN was streaming it today and stuff like that. I'm interested to get back into it. You know, we all played in the beta. I just kind of want to see what more there is, and I'm really curious about the staying power of this one. Whether or not it's like whether there's enough in the hopper for it to be, you know, have some longevity, or if in another week people just don't care.
What does Eric call it? Sea of meh.
Yeah. Meh.
My God.
Sea of meh.
I don't know if that's what Eric was calling it, or if he was alluding to Chris, and just Chris is meh about a lot of things. I don't know which way to take this. Whether Eric is genuinely meh, or if he was just trying to slag on poor Chris.
Well, I did hear it's one of the most streamed games lately. It
took number one today. It overtook Fortnite today. But again, is it because it's new and like say Fortnite's going to take the crown again in a week?
Yeah,
in a day?
Possibly.
I mean, it lends itself fantastically well to shenanigans. So
Yes.
if you want to go into a game and screw around, Sea of Thieves is a good option.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what other people do with it and just kind of diving in a little bit further myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am like everybody else. I'm curious how much time I'm really going to spend with this, which is why a lot of people. I've seen so many people like, oh, I'm redeeming my 14-day Game Pass trial today. Like, and they're perfectly fine with like, I'm going to give this game 14 days with my Game Pass, and then I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Which
That
is...
might
They
be
be
what I
saying
do.
that now. They might be saying that now, but in like 2 weeks from now, they'll be like, oh, well, maybe I will just buy it. Or I'll just renew my Game Pass.
Well, I mean, it makes more sense to just renew Game Pass. State of Decay is coming out.
Yeah,
right?
there's tons.
You're going to get your money's worth out of Game Pass. We already touched on
Absolutely.
Yeah. I might try to fire it up this week, but I have other more pressing things that I can't talk about to play.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. We got to save that for the next pod.
We do.
Oh,
we can
I'm
talk
assuming
about it
I
next
know
week.
what game you're playing.
Oh, you might.
It's kind of a big deal.
I can't talk about it, Shawn.
Well, you don't have to talk about it, but you can say the game that you're playing.
No, actually, I can't.
You're not allowed?
I'm not allowed to say what I'm playing.
Does it
No,
rhyme?
No.
Does it rhyme?
I'm not
with
going there. You can't see my face, so you can't tell if I'm lying.
Bar Fry 5?
You just have to tune in to COGconnected.com, COGconnected on Facebook, COGconnected on Twitter,
Oh, God.
COGconnected on Instagram.
Oh, there he goes.
I'm a company man.
And the company
You
man's
have to-
back.
You have to set your alarms. Set your alarms for. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to give anything away. So
Yeah. Next week.
let's just say the embargo time for this specific game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Is this the 3 a.m. embargo?
I will not confirm or
Ah.
deny.
If there's one thing I don't miss, it's embargoes.
Oh, fuck.
All right. Well, there's some other games coming out this week, like Titan Quest. I don't know anything about this.
Me neither.
Me neither, but I know James is reviewing it. So, yeah, tune in for his review.
Keeping with the Titan theme, Attack on Titan 2, which I believe there's a review of on the site.
Yes, and Aaron didn't really like it at all and is getting kind of hammered in the comments for not liking it.
Oh boy.
You could say that.
Is it-
You could say that. Yeah, we had to it got a little bit crazy on the YouTube channel, so those comments just had to be disabled.
Oh my god.
It
Wow.
was a little bit much. Yeah. Well, when you're threatening, when there's death threats towards our writers, you kind of got to shut it down.
It's time to pull the plug.
Time to pull the plug.
So you're saying people are a little passionate about their anime.
Yeah, well, who
Just
would
a
have
little.
thunk it?
Just a little. Yeah, they didn't
These are
like
the same.
it.
These are the same people that sleep. God, I know I'm alienating audience right now, but these are the same people that sleep with like body pillows shaped like anime characters. It's like, you have no hope of being a productive member of society. So,
whoa. We're
no,
all kids
man, I'm not
once.
pulling. I believe it was Alex Thomas today who basically said Shawn doesn't mean to offend people. He just tells the truth. And so, it is what it is. Some of this shit gets really fucking weird, and there's some people that are far too into it than they need to be. So, I'm just saying. Anyway.
But there are others that like the game. Don't let that stop you. If you're an Attack on Titan fan,
Yeah, it's
have at her.
it's a 75 on the Metacritics.
Yeah, so
Which is
there's
respectable.
some-
Aaron only gave it a 68, so we're not that far under the average.
Yeah, you know how it is, though. I mean, people
yeah.
do not understand a 100-point scale. And you almost can't blame them because I would say 90% of sites don't use it. They don't use
Yep.
the 100-point scale the way it's supposed to be used. So when you're giving a game a 60 even, which is considered an average score, an average game, it's not horrible, it's not great, but you know what? It's not that bad. You're going to enjoy it. You're just not going to be mind blown. people like 60 is like, oh no, I would never buy that game. It is going to be so horrible.
They treat it like a 0.
They do. It's you literally like the scale for a game that sells is 70 and above.
Mm-hmm.
Anything below that, you might as well call the coroner. Let's get the tombstone ready.
Yep.
And
it's flatlining.
Yeah, it's done. It's done, which just seems I got so tired of arguing that with people. And again, like I say, it's almost like you can't blame them because so many sites don't bother to use the scale the way it's meant to be. So when a reviewer comes along and really does use that scale, it throws them off. And no amount of explaining is going to clear it in their heads, unfortunately. Because like you said, like a 68 is not a bad score. That's like bordering on a close to above average game.
Ah, well, we'll never change their minds. And guess what? It doesn't matter what people think. We're not going to change how we approach reviews. So
no, and you shouldn't.
Just the way it is. A couple other games coming out this week. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, which only came out on the 360 and PS3, if I recall.
That's right. It was like just on the cusp. Like, I believe how it worked was when the new consoles came out, there was the new versions of Black Flag that was on the new consoles, and Rogue came out at the same time exclusively for the last generation of consoles.
That sounds right. Maybe.
But I heard it got the funny thing is I was so wrapped up in next generation. Like, I don't have time for this. I want to see what's new. I want to see these great new games because I just put out $1,400 for these 2 new consoles or whatever it was.
Yeah, so like a chump.
Yeah, like a sucker. I guess I'm back to that, huh? Having to pay for consoles again?
Yep,
Bullshit.
You're a sucker.
Bullshit. No, but that was the thing is like I kind of passed over it because you're getting all these new games, that are just heads and tails shinier than what you'd played before. So I'm glad that they've done it finally because I know that anybody who played Rogue had like pretty much universal positive things to say about it.
Yep, I remember that as well. And last but not least this week, No Kuni 2.
Which Judy reviewed that, right?
Judy
she
did.
loved it too. She gave it an 88.
Respectable.
Mm-hmm.
I
like the first one. No, I was going to say I like the first one quite a bit, but I know that it's different this time around. They didn't really follow the exact same. It's a very different game, but I believe I saw earlier today where someone was saying that a person who didn't really like anime played through Ni no Kuni 2 and literally kind of stepped back from it and questioned, I wonder, do I actually like anime? Like, it's good enough that even fans people who are not fans of anime in general are really getting sucked into it. So,
yeah, sounds like they added a lot of less traditional RPG stuff. Like, there's some castle building elements going on there. No word on Mr. Drippy. I'm going to have to ask Judy about that. Mr. Drippy Watch is in full effect.
I can't believe that they would just give up on a character like Mr. Drippy.
I can't believe they would give up on Mr. Drippy.
What I don't understand is how they managed to, in a JRPG in the first place, incorporate a character with a Scottish accent.
Nobody wants to touch Mr. Drippy. keep Drippy away from me.
Good Lord. God, we're children.
The innuendo that goes on this show is just ridiculous.
It's unstoppable.
Oh, it really is.
All right.
Whew.
Why don't we pick one of the things to talk about from our Facebook group?
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Yep. What do you guys want? Do you feel like talking about multiplayer or stealth?
I can do either.
I'm gonna. If we're picking one, I'm gonna throw my vote in for today. I'm gonna throw in for multiplayer.
What? You cut out?
You cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
Right at multiplayer? Yeah, multiplayer.
Okay, multiplayer.
Multiplayer?
Multiplayer it is.
Multipass. Okay.
Leeloo Dallas Multipass.
All right. So we had somebody on the Facebook group ask how we tend to behave in multiplayer. Do we help out others or do we screw them over?
Yeah, it was Rod, and he was saying how in most games like Call of Duty or whatever else, like he's the guy, he's the medic, you know, he's willing to go out on a limb and help people out, right? And then what was he playing? He's playing Hunt, wasn't it? The Showdown?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and he's just like you get caught out because you're a stupid ass. Well, fuck you, man, and you're done. Like I ain't helping nobody. It's funny. I very rarely play multiplayer, but when I do, I'm the ultimate helper because I think it's because I just don't have the skill to keep up in any other category though. Like I'm a good medic.
Yeah.
Because I suck at those games so bad. All of them.
Well, to me, it all depends on the game, right? Like, if I'm just playing regular Call of Duty multiplayer, like Domination, Team Deathmatch, man, I am run and gun, pray and spray. Like, I am constantly on the move. And, that might result in a 2 and 27, kills to death. Like, I might get my ass handed to me.
Your KD is slick, bro.
But I don't sit in camp. I just stay on the move. But if I'm playing zombies, on the other hand, where it's cooperative, yeah, I'm staying close to my teammates. I'm constantly helping them when they get killed, and I want to revive them. And I like playing with a team that wants to communicate on the mic. Mm-hmm. And even for Fortnite, it's a different style. If I play Fortnite, mind you, I've only played solo. But if I'm playing with a team, I'm going to stick with my team. I'm going to help them out. I'm going to, do the best I can to get through the map and trying to get the W.
Is that not a difference though between like when you're talking multiplayer and say Call of Duty, where you say it's like deathmatch or something like that, right? It's even if you're on a team, that's more of a free for all type atmosphere. Whereas say when you're playing a game that's more traditionally, I would say co-op. So like, say you're playing Destiny, right? Not that you're playing Iron Banner, which is like full out PvP. Excuse me, but you're doing one of the co-op type missions. Trevor, you and I were playing, right?
Yeah, we played, and
I'm down. And then, we're taking on a boss, and we're gonna make sure that we navigate around the map to revive you. Like, I'm all about that sort of thing. But that's because I feel
you were constantly reviving me.
But the difference is
clearly you've played more Destiny than I have.
Yeah, maybe, but I think what it is it's just like in that it depends for me on the dynamic of the game I'm playing. If it's literally a free for all, but technically I'm on a team, chances are I'm probably going to treat it like it's a free for all, no matter what. But if I'm playing something that's almost more co-op oriented, where it matters to me when my teammates go down, I'm more likely to go back and do that. Like, oh no, here, yeah, I'm trying to make my way around. I'll help you out, that sort of thing. But it's the way that the game plays. It's less about the mood that I'm in, you know what I mean, and more about the way that game is engineered to play. And I mean, I haven't played Hunt, but my guess is from the way it sounds is that like, yeah, technically you might be on a team, but the idea of it for the most part is you survive.
Sounds like that's how it works.
Yeah.
I haven't played Hunt, although I would quite like to. It sounds pretty interesting, and that type of game has interested me since Evolve, even though I thought Evolve was pretty bad.
Yeah, they did it poorly. But
thinking about multiplayer, pretty much any game, I tend to play some kind of support class. Like, I don't go with the typical assault or whatever. Usually I go for either a heavy or sniper, something like that. Something that's going to assist but doesn't get right into the middle of things, because I tend to leave myself a little exposed. Get out in the open and, maybe get an assist, but also die. So, my kill death tends to be pretty bad if I play assault.
My awareness in a game like that is just so bad. I mean, it's funny, like, I'll watch somebody, go through a level on a game, let's like say first person shooters, base type game, and watch them just navigate the level like their ass is on fire, and they're just taking dudes out and running through a level. And I look at it and I go, I could never, ever do that. I'm the guy that stays back, methodically takes out characters, my adversaries, moves from cover slowly. It's painful to watch me play video games, if we're being honest. But that's just the way that I play. So it's like, I've been debating for the longest time, I'm going to get into Overwatch for real this time, guys. I really want to try it. And I still haven't fucking bought the game. And I've asked friends of mine, what should I get it on? Like numerous times by now. And every time I go to push that button to buy it, I chicken out because of the fact that I know that I would have to play a medic support type role. And I don't know how much fun I would have. I mean, everybody seems to say like, everybody has fun in Overwatch. But true. I just doubt it though, because like I say, I'm not very good at shooting games, playing them solo. I'll never be good playing the multiplayer. And how much fun am I going to have running around, not shooting anything, and like, here, buddy, I'm going to heal you. Like, fucking boring.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised in Overwatch. Because, I mean...
Have you played it, Paul?
Yeah, I've played it. If you're not that great at actually shooting people... you'll go down shockingly quickly if you're in the line of fire. So playing as one of the medics or one of the support people is pretty fun, actually. And
do you have a beefier shield or something, like if you're a support player?
Yeah, depends on the character. Usually you're pretty squishy if you're one of the medics, but you can typically stay out of the line of fire and help one of the big bruisers out as they're crashing the line or whatever's going on.
I think for me, if I could find some friends that I knew were playing, I'm lucky enough to be in this, in the position where I go, if I'm going to throw $40 out on a game, even if I don't play it, it's not the end of my bank account. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to at least try if I knew people who were playing and go, okay, I'm going to play with you guys, maybe. And I mean, I'd like to say that I'd be surprised. I'd be like, wow, this is a ton of fun. Mm-hmm. But I just know that the way I play, right? And again, like, any game I've ever played where it's PvP and, you're trying to outgun somebody, I'm always that guy that's like screaming on the other end because I've been pointing the gun at this dude's head and I rattled off like 40 shots. I'm dead, he's not, and I'm angry.
Yeah, even with randos, Overwatch is pretty fun. I mean, you just have to pay attention because everybody's just going to pick their favorite character if it's a bunch of randoms. So then you kind of fill in the blanks. Nobody wants to pick a medic. Nobody wants to pick a support character. So just pick one of those and you'll have plenty of things to do and you'll have fun doing it.
I might be convinced one day.
They have free weekends every once in a while, so...
Yeah, and then I've seen that, and I'm surprised I haven't jumped in on one of those.
Get it done, son.
Yes, sir.
Get it done.
Yes, sir.
I haven't fired up in a long time. I've got it on the Xbox One, but I have not fired it up in a long time. Probably over a year.
That might make a good video. Overwatch like a year and a half later.
Getting owned a year and a half later.
The Press X crew gets together to play Overwatch.
Oh boy.
And get destroyed.
Boy, oh boy. We'll have to bring in a couple of ringers.
Just to make us look good.
Oh, yeah. Sell somebody else's point of view as my own.
I need you to be a bullet sponge for me. Can you do that? Yeah, man, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can do that. I think with that, we're going to get into the perfect list for this week.
Oh, I love this. I have to say, I love this segment. Like, it is so much fun. I really enjoy it.
That makes one of us.
Yeah. we were actually...
You guys don't like it?
I like... the funny thing is I like the results. I've been pleased with the results. It's just funny when you're put on the spot what you come up with. Because... if you were to go like, hey, let's research this and we're going to write an article like a normal journalist.
Oh, yeah.
And like a week later you submit an article where you really dig deep. It's going to be very different than from what we produce. Despite the fact that it's perfect. It's just going to be different.
Yeah.
I think I go a little more gray every time we do this section.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's coming from our gut, and I think that's a more honest way to go about it than to, look around at what other lists have done or, dig way deep into the archives and pull out something that nobody expects. I think it's more honest for us to come up with a thing right on the spot and come up with a list and be confident that it's a good list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was last week that we had touched on that, in that a lot of the time, the first thing that comes to mind is the right answer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you start to dissect it and think it through too much. And you're like, oh, maybe I should choose this or maybe I should choose that. It's like we don't give ourselves the time to choose that. You know what I mean? And that you just kind of... But so the list that you kind of come up with at the end is a lot more pure in a sense.
Well, inevitably, whenever we are done, there's like 2 or 3 games that pop to mind and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect for the perfect list.
But not perfect enough.
Not perfect enough.
Not perfect enough to come to mind. So this week, what we're going to do, thanks to the new Shadow of the Tomb Raider trailer, is come up with 10 perfect video game trailers.
Of all time.
Of all time. The 10 most perfect, you might even say. So I know this one is...
That's a lot of trailers.
Oh.
Yeah, I know this one's really hard, so I'm going to go first.
Oh, well, that's nice of you.
So that means you're on deck for... You've got the 4th pick.
Yep.
That means he has to do just a little bit more work than we do.
That's right.
Which I'm kind of thankful for. I mean, all right. The brain wheels is turning.
So when I thought of this category just before we started casting, the one trailer that came to mind, and I mean really the only one that has come to mind at this point, is the Gears of War Mad World trailer.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a great one. And I think it's just the song. Like it's one of those emotional songs, and
is that the strength of the trailer? Is what the trailer shows good, or is it just because they use that song?
I think it just sets the tone and the emotion.
Because I love the song. It's the Mad World trailer, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And it's just like I love the idea of the song because of just the general hopelessness that you get out of the Gears of War franchise, and you're just like, wow. But I mean, I'm trying my best to remember the trailer. I don't remember step by step, obviously, but I remember it impacting me. But then I also remember watching it a little bit later down the road and wondering, like, is what they're showing that impactful, or is it all resting on the shoulders of the music?
So I think it does rest on the music to some degree, but because it was a new franchise and we'd never seen it before, we didn't know anything about the enemies or the world or anything that was going on. The way it was portrayed is basically it's Marcus and crew running through the city and trying to escape from whatever's going on. And right at the end of the trailer, there's some huge beast that he's just firing into the darkness, and there's some cool light flares and stuff going on. But I think it created such mystery, and I don't think you can look back on a trailer and say, what we know now, maybe it's not as impressive. We have to look at it from when the trailer came out. Wow. That was like, holy shit, I have to get an Xbox 360 because I have to know what's going on in this game.
Sorry, go ahead, Trev.
We hadn't seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
I think that trailer came out in 2006, and we hadn't seen anything quite like that, where it wasn't really about gameplay. It was about the story, and it was about the characters. And I think what that trailer did a great job was just capturing that emotion. Mm-hmm. And the song helped, but you don't hear one gunshot, you don't hear one enemy growl. It's just all about the song, and you really get a sort of a sense of feeling for the story and the characters.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it gives it a sense of gravity.
Paul, that's a perfect pick.
Woo!
Yeah.
Perfect pick.
Now I've set us up for success. Trev, why don't you go next?
I'm going to get this one out of the way because it's probably one of my favorite trailers of all time and probably any medium. The Dead Island trailer. And I want to say it was the reveal trailer. Yeah, I just think it's one of the greatest all-time trailers. And it's gut-wrenching. And again, kind of like the Gears of War, it really captures that emotion of the game. Too bad the actual game sucked balls. But
is that the one?
The trailer was amazing.
Is that the one where like the little girl's like dead on the street and it like goes in reverse?
Oh.
That's right. That's the one.
Oh my
yes.
God, that trailer sucks. And by sucks I mean it's so fucking good.
Right.
But it punches you in the gut.
Right.
I remember watching that one going like, oh my God. Oh, it's funny. The game, I remember that trailer so well now, and the game just didn't equal the amount of emotion you felt from that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it set you up for something that the game just wasn't, because the trailer was perfect. It was so good.
So it did its job.
Oh, I just remember, I remember that trailer so well, because she goes flying back through the air because she's lying on the pavement and comes in through the glass, and the glass window is fine, and like she's riding on her like dad's back and everything. And it's just like, oh, it's a happy family, and just so basically you're seeing in reverse how this great family gets ripped to shreds that ends with this little girl dead in the streets. I'm like, ugh, God.
Well, Shawn, why don't you give us a pick?
This is actually, at least my first choice, is pretty easy for me. Funny thing is when I reviewed the game, I got shit on for pointing out some very obvious hiccups that I found along the way, but we already got into review scores and how that works. But yeah, the Deus Ex Mankind Divided, they did the Mechanical Apartheid
great trailer.
live action trailer, and everything about that, just like, it was a setup for, coming from Human Revolution into Mechanical Apartheid. It just put a real like human face on the way that the game worked, right? Where like the husband and the wife separate from each other in a sense, because she's got, mechanical parts and they don't know what's going on, and you see the distrust in the husband's eyes because like she tried to basically, was it like choke him out, that sort of thing. But it just added so much emotion to what that story was supposed to be about. And I remember, if I remember correct, we'd seen this trailer. It was just before E3 2016 that the trailer came out, because the three of us were at E3 that year, and we went out of our way to go and sit at the Square Theater just to sit down and watch that trailer on the big screen that they had, just to take it in again. And we all walked away at the same time going like, wow, does that hit you in the feels?
Cool.
We actually gave it our Fields Award at E3 that year, didn't we?
I think we might have, because it was powerful. Yeah. It was really powerful. And
fun fact on that trailer, it was actually shot in Vancouver, where COG is headquartered.
It sure was. You betcha. I remember noticing that, like seeing some things. I think it was BC Place or something in the background. Well, I'm like, oh shit, they did that at home.
They did a good job.
They did.
Another case where the game didn't quite live up to the trailer, but you know what? That's not the point of this list.
Well, I mean, if we can give that at least a little bit of time here. I found when I reviewed it, I found a lot of like really goofy hiccups that I just wished weren't there.
Yeah.
Like times when I'm in stealth mode where like characters aren't noticing me and I can just cruise by them. So it took some of the challenge out. Like things that you would just think that in the polished final product wouldn't be there. And so I discounted for that. And I feel I wouldn't step back on that. I still feel that I was fair in my assessment, excuse me, on that. But I've gone back to the game since, and, gotten back into it. The story is still really, really good. And I do feel like it's a shame that not enough people really gave it the time of day, to the point where there is a little bit of wonder now whether or not the Deus Ex franchise is dead in the water, or if they're going to continue. And I hope they continue, because it has a lot of promise. There's so many really great stories they could probably tell in that universe. So, yeah, hopefully they're not dead.
Oh, what do you got?
I'm going to go with one that's a little more recent here.
Oh, if you take mine, I am going to punch you.
I'm probably going to take it, because I feel like
you're totally going to take it. I'm looking at it right now, and you're going to take it. I know it.
It's the Last of Us 2 teaser.
You're a cocksucker is what you are. That's what you are. God damn it, Paul.
Wow, that was... You're a cocksucker, that's what you are.
Oh, son of a bitch. I have no backup plan. Even though I've got 2 more picks.
Oh, damn it.
You cocksucker!
Make sure your explanation as to why is long, because I have to Google something.
All right, well, Trevor Googles to come up with a replacement for this trailer. This is the one with the scene in the camp where there's some extremely graphic dismemberment going on. I was disturbed and sickened, I would say. It was at that level. But it really made me want to play Last of Us 2, and really made me want to jump back into that world, see what Ellie's up to, see where they're taking this story.
Okay, so is this a different trailer though? Like, this was the trailer that the with the girl strung up, getting like the hammer taken to her and stuff. Right?
That's the most recent one.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're not talking about the one with Ellie playing the guitar, singing the song.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. The one where she's playing the guitar, like the teaser, basically.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that one? Do you remember that one where like it starts out like in the woods and stuff, and you see like these cars broken down and everything else, and then what happens is the trailer comes in, and you're inside the cabin, and it shows Ellie's hand, like she's almost like you would picture in a way that someone who's like arthritic in a sense. So like she's stretching out her hand, and you can see the blood on the knuckles, and she's got like a tattoo up the arm, I remember, right? And then she starts playing the song and singing. And the second she starts singing, because I remember watching that trailer when they revealed it, everyone like, what is this? And we all knew, we're like, is this Last of Us? Is this, because we were expecting it. And then she starts singing, and then it like moves up to her mouth, and everyone's like,
everybody goes nuts.
Oh, and everyone's like, you could just tell, right? Because of the actor and like the shape of the face, and we're like, holy shit, this is Last of Us. And then it dialed out to Ellie playing the guitar, and the way that trailer ended, where she's like, I'm gonna kill every last one of them. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it gave me the chills. So that's 2 different trailers for The Last of Us, because you were obviously thinking of... I remember that one too, because it was brutal. It was brutal, the way that like she was getting beat on.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome.
Yep. That's the one I was thinking of. But yeah, there's room for 2 perfect Last of Us trailers on this list.
I suppose. I just feel like that's a bit greedy of The Last of Us.
Well, I mean, I do remember the one you guys are talking about, and it definitely deserves to be on the list. I forgot about that one.
That was a good trailer. Yeah, that was
excellent.
That was a good trailer. I mean, now that like we've been thinking about it for a few minutes here, I have a few other thoughts in my head though, so like I don't know if I'm going to go back to that one.
Yeah. Well, Trev, do you want to pick that one?
Well, I feel like I should pick something else. Though.
I know, I'm like cop out.
Yeah, like it's kind of like going with Guitar 2 and Guitar Hero 3, right? Like it kind of seemed wrong. Like seems wrong to pick 2 of even like the same game, not even the same franchise. But I got another one. I really like that, and I want to say, was it the reveal trailer? Probably was the reveal trailer. The Bioshock reveal trailer that kind of gave us a glimpse
Oh.
of Rapture for the first time. And then near like the midpoint of the trailer, you're in this battle with a big daddy. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. It sort of opened up our eyes to this whole new world, which was Bioshock. And I remember when I saw that for the first time, I was instantly like, holy fuck, I gotta get this game. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bioshock, the original Bioshock, and I want to say it's the reveal trailer.
I think I know which one you're talking about because
me too.
I remember how much impact it had for me, like playing the game, where you're like on the plane and the plane crashes and you're dropped in the water and then you find this tower in the ocean or whatever, right? And I remember the trailer. For the reveal trailer, was it not like where it just kind of kept like panning in over the water? And you could hear Andrew Ryan talking.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
it's like through the ocean and
it's going through the ocean. You're hearing Andrew Ryan talk about his like, his wonderful city of Rapture and everything else. And then I remember like seeing scenes where like the water's overflowing. So you've got like water coming down and you've got characters that are like obscured behind waterfalls and stuff like that. And just the general sense of mystery that was added by watching through that trailer and not knowing what the game was quite about at that point. That's a good trailer. That's a really good choice.
It really is.
Oh, I want to play that game again now. I've only played it like 4 times.
Hey, the complete collection.
Yeah. The only thing
is that on Game Pass? I think that is on Game Pass, or is it? No, maybe not.
No, I think the 360 versions are available or something like that, but not the upgraded versions. Whether or not that really matters, because they were all pretty fantastic. I remember like the first time playing Bioshock, where you come out of the little sub or whatever as you sink down into Rapture, and you come out and you hear that whatever the character is talking to you, and like you can hear her like on the ceilings and like crawling all over around you and stuff like that. Just the overall sense of like I just got the chills in the opening section, and it set the tone for the whole game for me, where I felt uneasy about going into every room when it came to Bioshock. And just that sense of unease just never went away. God, I love that game.
You kind of went into a monologue there.
It's such a good game.
It is. It truly is.
I think it's your pick. I think it's your pick now, Shawn.
See, I was stalling. Maybe that's what I was doing.
Is this your... No, it's not your last pick.
No. A trailer that comes to mind. I don't know if you guys are going to remember this. I don't know if a lot of people remember this. We saw it's 2K that does the Prey series, right?
Bethesda does the new.
Yeah, that's right. Bethesda. That's right. I don't know.
I think 2K did the old ones though, didn't they?
No, it's probably no. I'm pretty sure it was Bethesda. I'm just brain farting. But anyways, yeah. So Prey came out. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, everybody knows that Prey was like 360 era. The first Prey kind of was underappreciated, but they announced a Prey 2. And it never came to be. But the trailer for Prey 2, this bounty trailer, was fucking badass, because it's like this bounty hunter is chasing down this dude. And I remember that it had this very sort of, I mean, I don't want to say like Neo Tokyo, Blade Runner futuristic vibe to it. And he's hunting down this like alien character. And most of the trailer is him like running through the streets, kind of goes into first person. It's like super shaky and everything else, chasing down this character. And then I remember like the character thinks that he's gotten away. The guy that he's hunting thinks that he's gotten away. And then you just watch him just get fucking tackled, like badass tackled into a wall. And it's just this like sick thud when he tackles this dude, and he he thinks like he's done, I've got, you'd think that that's maybe where the trailer would end. But then I remember there's a bunch of other bad guys that kind of show up around him, and he's like analyzing. He's got like this HUD like that comes up in his eyes or something, and he's looking and analyzing all these other characters, and then this giant ass creature. I can't remember, like had like an alligator face and like spider legs or something. And but in his HUD, it's basically like it shows that wanted and then like dead. And you know that he's about to get into like a really badass fight with this huge giant creature that he's faced off against. But it was long too. I think it was like a 3 or 4 minute trailer. But it really just kind of fleshed out the real vibe and the atmosphere of what that game was supposed to be. So it's really too bad that they gave up on that game, because what you saw in that trailer was a really cool game.
Yeah, I gotta think that the game itself must have been in pretty rough shape if they canceled it, because the response to that trailer was like off the charts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if I remember right, people like really, like you say, they responded super well to the trailer. People were like, "Give me this game, give me the game," and then it just never came to be.
Oh well, at least we had a good trailer out of it.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right. It's my turn, right?
It is.
Well, I'm going to take an easy pick here, and I'm going to go with the original Skyrim trailer.
Well, you got my vote.
So this one was, I think they like introduced the concept of Dragonborn and the fact that there'd be dragons. There's a big like voiceover from some epic sounding character, and the Skyrim theme's playing in the background, and it's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes long, and I love that trailer.
Oh, the theme worked so well. I mean, how can you not sell a trailer purely on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I dropped a link for you guys, so you can pull it up if you want to watch it later. It is
I'm
a
so well aware of that
fantastic
trailer.
It is so good.
I believe my love for Skyrim has been noted by now, so I am so well aware of that trailer, and I probably would have been pretty close to choosing it myself if it wasn't for the fact that I feel like I fawn over Skyrim too much. So I'm glad that you picked it.
It's a great game, great trailer. Trev, it's your last pick. Make it count.
My last pick. I'm gonna go with Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Deceived cinematic trailer. Only because I'm looking at it right now and it looks incredible. I am completely cheating. I am looking this up, and this is just an amazing trailer, and it needs to be on our perfect list. So the Star Wars Old Republic, it's got a bit of everything, and yeah, man, that looks awesome. So yeah, Star Wars Old Republic gets my vote. My last pick.
All right.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, Old Republic was one of those games that didn't really, I don't know if it didn't catch the mainstream the way they thought it would, but all the trailers and everything I've heard about the game sounds like I would really like it.
But people did play it. Like, I don't think it was
totally. Yeah.
I don't think it was a flop or anything like that. Like, it was definitely a huge game, but it was still a very niche audience. It didn't necessarily hit all the notes that I think that BioWare was really hoping for. I could think that they had hoped it might have been a little bit more broad in terms of the people that were playing the game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, no, I don't remember everything about that Trevor trailer. Good God. I don't remember all the details about it, but I mean, I'm trying to piece it together in my head. But I remember it being, I remember the cinematic trailer. I just remember one character like jetpacking up from like this ledge. She's like overlooking like what's going on below, and then like jetpacks up into the apartment. And yeah, I remember the trailer. I do remember the trailer, but again, it's a game that I never spent a lot of time with. I mean, I don't know, maybe we should have. Maybe if we'd given it a little bit more love, we'd have more Old Republic games, because I know it was.
I'm just looking at the list here. Did we go out of order at some point? Because we have 9 games.
What?
Yeah, there are 9 on the list.
Well, did you put the 2 Last of Us? Like, did you use?
I see 2 Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I typed it out and then didn't delete it.
On our final list here.
the second one will just have to get an honorable mention.
I believe it deserves an honorable mention because
really
that
does.
trailer is awesome. I don't want to pick it, though.
No. Go out on a limb.
Oh, is it my turn?
Oh, it is.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of like trailers that really impacted me. I'm gonna go.
The Wanderer.
No. I remember.
That's
Actually, that's the Fallout 4 trailer. I remember that. The Wanderer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a wanderer. No, the funny thing is I have two trailers in my head. You already picked the Dead Island announcement trailer for the first one, which is the one reason I'm not going to pick the Dead Island 2 trailer, because the game never came out, but the trailer was hilarious. Like, dude jogging through the streets, like just so oblivious to the carnage going on behind him.
That was a great trailer.
Ass off during that trailer. But because we've already got Dead Island in there, I'm gonna skip over that one, and I'm gonna go with the Fallout 3 teaser trailer. Where you're like,
which one?
The Fallout 3 teaser trailer where you're zoomed in on the radio, and then it like pans out, and you see like the little hula girl, and it pans out to the bus. It just is a slow reveal,
classic,
backing out through the bus with that like old 1950s music. And you just get it. I mean, the beautiful thing about Fallout 3, it's done in like those really muted sort of like greeny colors and everything else. And as you're panning out like through the bus, you start seeing the expanse of the world that you're in. And it was like a relaunch for the Fallout series too. And I remember people being really worried about whether or not it was going to stand out. And I mean, we could definitely get into the debate of the Fallout 3 and the New Vegas, and I love New Vegas for sure, but I still think that Fallout 3 has its place when it comes to like great games that I've ever played. And I just remember that trailer, and specifically the way the music works. There's just something special about like you're seeing this post-apocalyptic setting, yet these 1950s music vibe, it doesn't go together, but it goes together all at the same time. And I just remember being jaw dropped at the end of that trailer and going, holy Christ, this game needs to happen. I need this in my life. So yeah, Fallout 3, that teaser trailer is so good.
That's a perfect selection.
Of course it is. It's the perfect pick. Perfect list.
It'll never get old. I
think
guess
we need to start counting how many times we say perfect in a single
get a tally
episode.
going.
Every episode we need to tally the perfects.
Maybe one of our fine listeners can do that for us.
Let's I nominate Alex Thomas.
You know he'll do it too.
Exactly. That's why I'm nominating him.
All right, I'm going to put in with the last pick on this perfect list.
Make it count.
Yeah, it actually comes from this past year at the Xbox event, and that is The Last Night.
That's such a good pick. That is such a good pick.
Oh, the indie game.
Yeah, it's all like was it like, what would we say, 16-bit? 16-bit?
It looks like you imagine pixel art looked in the past. It looks like your brain thinks 16-bit looked like.
But it's Blade Runner in 16-bit.
Yep.
Is the vibe that I got from it.
It's totally cyberpunk. It's got an absolutely rad song. It's Lorne's Acid Rain. That song's awesome. And I don't know what this game is. I don't care. I just want to see it. I want to play it. I want to have it in my life.
Yeah, and I just remember when we walked out of the Xbox presser, going, holy shit, what was that game? It looks so cool.
And that is going to be the end of the perfect list.
I'll take it. I think that's a good pick. I'm not going to argue on that one.
Yep. Nope. So we got Star Wars, The Old Republic, Fallout 3 teaser trailer, the Bioshock teaser, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Mechanical Apartheid. Just a fantastic name for a trailer. The Prey 2 Bounty trailer, the Dead Island announcement trailer, the most recent Last of Us 2 trailer, Gears of War Mad World, the Skyrim trailer, and The Last Night.
Jesus, We're getting a knack for this. I think we get some pretty good lists.
Yeah.
Coming up.
This is
off the top of
ironclad.
our brains.
This is ironclad.
Perfect.
It's a good list.
I would say it's perfect.
Well, we have to, but I genuinely think it's a good list.
Yeah.
Good games on there and some really good trailers.
So we absolutely dare you to dispute these picks. Email us, pressxpodcast@gmail.com, or get on the Facebook group. Get in touch with us there and argue all you like. We'll probably say that you're wrong, but we'll listen to your argument anyway.
Maybe
If Shawn's feeling, I don't know, saucy.
Charitable. If I put up with it, I'm feeling charitable. If I'm feeling saucy, I'm going to argue like a motherfucker.
You can be sure that one of those two things will show up.
Fair.
Yep.
Accurate.
And on that note, I think we should get out of here because we've been casting for a very, very long time.
It's a power cast today.
It's
2 power casts in a row.
My God. Yeah. If you liked what you heard, please share it everywhere you know. Give us 5 stars, review it on iTunes, do all that stuff. Tell people that you think might like it. We'd love to get bigger and, I don't know, have more people to talk to on the Facebook group, honestly.
Well, yeah, I just want to argue with people on the Facebooks.
Shawn is not feeling charitable. He's feeling saucy. He needs someone to bounce his rude ideas off of.
Right now, currently. Tomorrow I'll probably feel much more charitable.
But you might be back to saucy on Wednesday, so
yeah,
that's when the cast comes out. So that's when it's important to be saucy. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Adios.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.